It's a heartwarming story.
You're close. Give them to me.
22.
Staggering number. Been doing this, like 4 years now?
Alright, shall I introduce us, or do you want to do that? Nah.
Hello and welcome to Without Trousers. I'm your host, Damien Benedict.
With me, Georg Rockall-Schmidt, and we are very much the team who Mark and Jeremy. I'm Mark. No, I'm Jeremy. Shit. Fuck that up straight away.
That's fine. I'll take Mark. I'm more of a Mark.
Yeah. You fucked it up, Jeremy.
That was your job, you fucking idiot.
Yeah, you're way more of a Mark than me. You got a job and pay rent and all of that.
I do enjoy some hot buttered toast.
Whereas I'm almost 40 and I'm still thinking I'm going to join the Chemical Brothers. Who, for all I know, might well be dead by now.
Chemical Brothers are still going. Prodigy, not so much. You might have a tougher time, but I mean, there's
an opening now.
Yeah. Okay. All right. I see the folly in my logic already.
I don't know. Am I aging myself? I might as well have. I have just said I'll be joining the Dead Kennedys. Yes, I hope to be the bass player for the Jimi Hendrix Experience. I was the backing guitar for George Formby.
Got my ukulele and everything.
Maggie's in the basement talking about the government. So this is our annual podcast, I suppose.
Fresh out of retirement, just for you guys.
Yeah. So I guess you should explain what this is to people who've never heard it and have accidentally clicked on it. Damien.
Yeah, well, we will attempt to talk about a movie that we've watched. We usually fail spectacularly, and just ramble on incessantly about whatever comes to mind. It's very lazy. So if that's your bag, you're in the right place.
Yeah, so did you even watch the movie?
Did I even watch I watched the movie, but I may as well have not watched the movie.
Did you finish it?
I did finish it, yeah.
Oh, good.
Did you not?
No.
Well, that's not surprising. It was kind of tough. All right, get it straight out the way. So we watched Hellboy, The Crooked Man.
Yes.
Also known as Who Gives a Shit, the movie.
$20 million this movie cost. It was in theatres, Damien. In theatres.
Yes, all 5 of them.
All of the 5 remaining theatres in the world. All across the Metroplex. Yeah, so...
it had a small theatrical release in Europe from what I gathered, but I think it was largely just straight to streaming, wasn't it? I mean, no one knew about this movie when it came out. When you told me about this, a month ago, and I was shocked. I thought you were talking about the David Arbor thing, which apparently is, 2019, so that's like almost 6 years old, which is shocking. But no, it was just, it's a brand new Hellboy movie that no one knew about.
Yeah, they've really debased the Hellboy IP in terms of movies now. Like, how are they going to make another one and it have any expectations or anything? Or not just expectations, but, studio interest.
I have absolutely no idea. If it made any money, then they'll just keep churning it out because it's a recognizable IP. Well, yeah, that's fair enough.
It didn't make $1 million. I know that.
Really, that bad?
Yes.
I mean, granted, I waited until it was £1.50 to rent on Amazon.
It was $6 for me.
Oh, damn.
Yeah. Oh my god. And it was the worst $6 I've ever spent. And I have spent $6 on like a sandwich that I've dropped immediately before. At least that was nice to look at.
I mean, hang on. You drop a sandwich on the floor, you're forgetting about the 10-minute rule.
The 10-minute rule? It wouldn't take you 10 minutes to eat it.
Food can be on the floor for 10 minutes before it goes bad.
No, people would judge you if you do that. You've got to pretend to be an anteater. Like, quickly go to the changing rooms and get on your anteater costume that you carry around with you everywhere. Come out. I mean, I assume by anteater costume, I assume it's like a leather rag with a large cardboard tube, the type you would get in a kitchen roll sticking out of it, and you just suck it up.
Okay. Glad you elaborated on the costume. That's obviously not a big furry thing. Don't out us, all right?
Is that anteater poking that sandwich up its nose with its fingers?
Look, where's he going? Get back here.
I don't know. What noises do they make?
My sandwich.
Yeah. Guess what's for fucking lunch?
It's a bit hairy.
Now you're overselling it. I never, I
What,
can't
the sandwich of the movie? I don't think we're overselling the movie. I think we've already shit-canned it. We haven't said anything about it yet.
The movie was a bit hairy. Okay, well, here's some trivia for you. Apparently, they ran out of money whilst making this, somehow, and the director made the title sequences on his computer at home in After Effects.
Is that...
Yeah, that's true.
That doesn't explain the title card. I thought he was going for a pulp kind of style.
I mean, if that's what they mean...
If it was done on someone's iPhone...
The title card wasn't that bad. I mean, it wasn't great, but...
I for a second I quite liked that, but then when it was followed up by that train, that CGI...
Spider.
Yeah, I mean, as soon as that train came billowing down the tracks, I thought I thought I was playing Wolfenstein or something like that, 8 years ago. It was bad, man. It was incredibly fucking low res for CGI you expect these days.
Yeah.
And I'm pretty sure if we go frame by frame, that spider starts clipping through the train carriage.
I guess audiences just will not accept, clearly a studio shot where people are just rocking back and forth and we've got the sound of a train. Which is what my instincts would have been if I'd have had no money. But they did have money. But obviously not enough. Same with the spider thing. You could have done that in a different way where you wouldn't have had to expose us to terrible CGI.
Well, that's what I kind of got throughout the movie, right? Because these are very kind of like gratuitous like shots of the monster, right? So you see it in all of its glory, and it's bad. It doesn't match up to today's standards for sure. But then not every time, but largely throughout the movie, when something creepy is going, they just don't show it. It always happens off screen. It's like most of the money went into that, I think, and they had to like very strategically shoot everything else. Because if they're not cutting away, everything else is just in complete darkness.
Or deliberately out of focus.
Yeah. Or that dreadful fucking fuzzy filter on everything that made everything look like a bad, like, fucking metal video. Oh, it made my skin crawl.
Like a metal video from like 20 years ago, though.
Oh, I mean, those are the only ones I know, to be honest. I'm not down with the MTV,
You're not watching Three Teeth. Well, yeah. I mean, I think it would have... I mean, don't anyone who is mistakenly listening to this, please do not think that you should watch this movie like for a laugh or something. It's not like that. The spider is so bad at the beginning, the CGI mega spider. I think it would have been better, although obviously bizarre, if Hellboy and Friend had just been reacting the way they were, but the spider was just never animated at all. And it was like an invisible spider, or they'd gone mad or something.
You can very clearly see the strings. It's just a puppet.
No, there's nothing.
I mean,
there's nothing there.
Because in the beginning, we're met with three characters: Hellboy, his partner, and then a third agent who's just there to be kind of smushed almost immediately. They could have just done a shot where he's just grabbed, and you just have like reaction shots where you just hear him being munched or something, and they're going, "Oh my god!"
Oh no! Not his neck.
What a pickle is this?
He needs his thorax to live. Yeah.
I mean, just see a few little squibs like flying off screen, you know.
An eyeball hitting Hellboy in the head. Hellboy.
Yeah. I mean, granted, I think they wanted to go for something a little bit more serious. It's quite...
Yeah, that was
I think
a
it's
bizarre choice.
Yeah, I mean, they're definitely going for like a horror movie tone, for sure. But I think our suggestion here is a step up, but it's definitely a comedic tone, you know, very slapstick. But you don't need that spider. It's going to undercut everything you do from there on.
And obviously it was set in 1950s,
Appalachia.
which is where I live, in 1950s Kentucky. And it is very much like that. People walking around without any shoes on. And
Giant spiders.
it's almost like they couldn't decide, because the way that Hellboy and assistant lady were talking was very modern. Mm-hmm. But like everything with like the people of Appalachia, I mean, just Jesus, was like it was like the 1920s Dust Bowl.
Yeah. I have to say, we mentioned briefly off mic that my girlfriend's just gone on a business trip for the next 2 weeks, and she has this habit of just putting subtitles on absolutely everything when we watch TV, so much so that I'm kind of used to it. I don't like it all the time, but there it is. So she's gone away. I thought I could sit down and watch this how I would like to do it. And I started hearing these fucking accents and these people just like biting, just chewing on their own lips, right? And the copy that I rented from Amazon, I go to switch the subtitles on, they said they're not available. For the one time that I need them, they're not there. Because quite frankly, I had no fucking idea what people were saying.
Well, come on now, boy. It ain't that hard.
Well, you by gum, you see, you put the cat's piss in the bowl with the thing, and then you rub the turd around, you see?
Yes, everyone in this is Chef's dad. The victim child. I mean, that is pretty true to life. There's definitely people around here who was like, I'm sorry, what? I was saying...
Now listen to me now, here, son. Wichita hog rub.
Wichita rug. Yeah. Yeah. So obviously we watched this because it has Geoffrey in it.
Absolutely.
The actor's name being?
Oh, was it?
Yeah, what is it?
No, I looked it up
Quality
earlier. It's
podcast.
like Marshall something. Well,
Marshall Mathers?
we've already... No. You've obviously got it at hand, so just tell me.
Yes. I will tell
Absolutely
you.
have that at hand.
I absolutely do have it at hand.
www.imdb.
Oh, hang on.
Yo, George, you still there? Okay.
Geoffrey 1995. Directed by Christopher Ashley. No, not that. Joseph Marcel.
That makes a lot more sense.
Joseph
I was on
Marcel
hold.
played Geoffrey.
Jeffrey.
Yeah, I did put you on hold, but then I couldn't work out how to take you off hold. Again,
I thought I did it by mistake.
George Formby. Oh, maybe you put me on hold. Oh, okay. Well, there you go. What is hold? I was expecting to talk to the operator. Operator, break me in. I was saying to absolutely nothing. So, Geoffrey, Joseph Marcel is in this, which is why we watched it, sort of, because we're huge fans.
Of the Prince that is fresh.
Well, of his butler, who is black. Well, my butler is blue. Ain't that right, Will Smith? Can you still do the Fresh Prince intro?
I mean, I'm not going to. Not a record.
Go on. In...
West Philadelphia, born and raised.
On a...
Playground where I spent most of my days.
Chilling out?
Chilling out. Maxing, relaxing. Oh,
Shooting some meatball.
shooting some meatball.
Outside
Oh,
of
I've
school.
forgotten it.
Well, a couple of guys
who are
who
up
were
to
up to no
good. Started big trouble in the neighborhood.
I got in one little fight and my mother got scared and she said, I am moving you to your
Go
uncle
away.
and auntie's house in Bel Air. And then something about a cab that was weird. And then
Had dice in the mirror.
And dice in the mirror. In the extended version, obviously, we get the whole chapter about drinking orange juice from a champagne glass. That's an important angle. He's rich. That's important to this story.
He was previously poor, but now he is rich. So now he's going to be very immature. You can guarantee.
Yeah, but in terms of morality, he's always been very poor. So, Geoffrey movies. What have you got, Damien?
Outside of this,
Did you like Geoffrey in this, Joseph Marcel?
no, it's nice to see that he's still alive.
Is it? I mean, yeah, of course it is, but
Wish ill on the man, I suppose.
no.
What has he done?
He played Geoffrey, and he played the blind preacher man in Hellboy: The Crooked Man.
No, I mean, what sins has he committed to be, thought of in such a lowly manner?
I'm not thinking of him in a lonely manner. Just like, if I said Jeffrey Tambor's dead, would you be like, oh no? I mean, he is old. I mean, Joseph Marcel's got to be like 70.
I mean, he does look ancient for sure.
Well, in this he does, yeah. I mean,
They did it that way.
Makeup, special effects, Players Lynch. What?
You can't just drop that on me. That's not fair. That's obviously fucking derailed.
Well, can you think of any other quotes from Kane and Lynch 2 that we haven't played in 15 years?
Players Lynch is not a quote. That's just what's written on the back.
That's a direct quote from marketing material. Full colour.
We got more joy out of those 3 words than we did playing the actual 2 of the games. It's not like we didn't have fun with them either.
Yeah.
Hours sat on a couch, baked off our fucking tits. Just go, Players Lynch.
And don't forget the 5 magic words. Get to the donut shop. My daughter.
My daughter. I forgot about the donut shop.
Why did they ever make a Kane and Lynch 3, huh? It couldn't have been because the first 2 games were crap.
I'm still waiting on that Kane and Lynch TV show. All right.
Wasn't it meant to be Philip Seymour Hoffman as Lynch and Jamie Foxx as Kane?
I mean, I was going to say Joseph Marcel, but I mean, Jamie Foxx is a pretty good pull for Absolutely Nuts, for sure. I didn't read anything about it. It's all secondhand information from you, but I do remember you telling me something that batshit. I mean, Philip Seymour Hoffman would have been great. Jamie Foxx, not so much.
I mean, well, what is Kane's personality? He could have, whatever. He could have done it.
All right, fine. I just don't like Jamie Foxx very much.
And Quentin Tarantino as the tiny little gnome that only Kane can see. So, Geoffrey. Well, I don't actually have much to... Well, I'm going to... What a surprise. You only had 10 months for this.
Yeah. I mean, the movie wasn't out then, but sure.
But you could have been thinking about Geoffrey.
I mean, I have been thinking about Geoffrey. Every now and again, I'm just sat on the couch by myself. I'll throw my arms up in the air and just go, Geoffrey! Which is what would happen... The last time we watched Fresh Prince was 15 years ago when we were living in that dog shit flat in Acton. And every time he came on screen, that's exactly what we would do. I don't remember anything else about the experience.
Half the time, so.
Or if he said Master William, Geoffrey!
Well, do you remember what one of us would say every time that Walt's disabled son from Breaking Bad was on screen?
Yes, I do. I still say it when no one is watching me. What a car block.
For reasons too complicated to explain.
I'm sure we have at some point. They just have to go through the archive if they really want to know the answers to that mystery. My missus has got one of those memberships for the Prince Charles Theatre, and we go down every now and again to see something. But they have that big chalkboard at the entrance of the screen on the in the basement, where just any customers and members can make suggestions for movies they screen there. And every time I go, I always put The Ringer.
Cool.
And they haven't taken me up on that. No one's biting. I'm kind of disappointed. We've got Frozen sing-alongs every fucking week, but no Ringer. I don't see why not.
Well, in that case, Damien, it is just not a serious meme cinema.
Well, I mean, we have since, dispensed with our membership. It's supposed to be lifetime, but we said no.
I will
We've already
rip it
paid
up.
for it.
I don't care if it's laminated. I will whip that lifetime membership up.
Yes, you've got my tone down for sure.
Betty! So, do you have any idea for Geoffrey movies? Other movies starring Geoffrey. Not just Marcellus Wallace, or whatever the fuck his name is. Geoffrey. Joseph Marcel as Geoffrey.
I mean, we were shitting on this spider at the beginning of the movie, right? It's really, really bad CG. Well, I mean...
That should have been Geoffrey.
In a sense, yes. Not Geoffrey, but you could easily just put his face on it, and, badly, and the CGI would have still been at that level.
Like, just so you can see the legs, and then it's just one of 3 different
It's
angles.
just his
of
head
Marcel's
with
face.
8 legs
Yeah.
coming out of it.
Yeah. And his head isn't animated, right? It's a still photo from a red carpet 10 years ago. Kind of
Absolutely
like
frozen.
Mel Gibson in South Park. It's just that.
It's a poorly animated GIF,
Yeah, on a loop.
So you can see the frames as well of the image.
You can see the word GIF in the top right corner.
Now, what I'd really like to see from that incarnation of this movie is that as the spider does approach anyone, they recruit me to do some lovely voiceover work, but just one line that they play ad nauseum while the spider is on screen or near the characters, which is just, "How does this day find you, Master William?"
I thought you were going to say, "Well, maybe you shouldn't be living here."
That came up on my feed the other day. I forgot about that.
Yeah.
It's dynamite. I can't remember who did that, but they were
Much appreciated.
leagues ahead. Yeah, on another level. I didn't realize I synced it up so well. Just doing it in the dark. It's pretty good.
Are there
Here
any
I
other
am
quotes?
patting myself on the back for someone else's work.
Yeah. Yeah, maybe they didn't. Maybe they went through an incredibly tough process to just massage your words and the inflection just right.
I suspect that probably isn't the case.
I mean, you'd hope not.
I'd hope not, yeah. But, I mean, some of the fan art we have been sent has been pretty elaborate, so who knows?
Well, I'm sure we won't be getting any more of that now that we're doing it every 10 months.
I mean, this won't reach anyone. Surely they've all forgotten about us.
I mean, after we've stopped recording, I'm just going to go upstairs and lay down and I'll never think about it again. It'll never even get into my computer.
I'll just send it, it'll end up... The file I send you will just be go straight to your junk mail.
File? I'm just having this transcribed. There's no electronics around me.
So what is this bucket? So it's you talking, and then there's a second cut of you reading the transcript to yourself?
It's just a blog. And then Damien cackles like a maniac.
It is my trademark, cackle.
Damien boys. So come on then, you must have had time now in the last 7 minutes. Geoffrey movies, ideas, go.
No, I'm obviously trying to kind of dodge the subject. I know you've got something in the bag, you always do.
I do. Listen,
you must do, or this is why you're drilling me.
Pages.
That's the toilet paper you keep on your desk. It's
pretty,
that crunchy because it's already been wiped. That has now crusted.
I mean, have you ever had to wipe your bum with, a notepad, like notepad paper, A4 paper? It doesn't work well.
It doesn't work well. No, but I mean, to answer your question, absolutely yes, I have. I've found myself with nothing on the roll, so I would just tear up the cardboard and like shovel it out with that.
Shovel it out.
Yeah, I'm not. I'm still mid-movement, of course.
Gotta get it out. Gotta shovel it out. Gotta get back to work on the salad bar.
It needs a helping hand.
Jesus. Okay. Yeah, I've never used the toilet roll core.
I like to think that I've outgrown that at this age. I can plan ahead, and there's always something on the roll. I don't find myself quite in that quandary anymore. But it has happened. You ask an honest question, I give you an honest answer.
And then you've shoveled it out with you've ripped a toilet roll core in half, and then used the tensile strength of it as like the fecal equivalent of like a sugar spoon.
Actually, no. I would just kind of flatten it out and just try and wipe with it like a regular piece of tissue paper.
Yeah.
It was coarse. I would see remnants of stool for sure, and a little blood.
And what, you would like bring it to your face after this?
Oh, had to after something like that, I would have to check for sure. I need to check what I wipe, just in case that if I see that there's nothing, then I'm done. I don't just like wipe blindly. Good God, man. There's no concrete number as to when you are done. You must investigate after the fact. You wipe blindly? Is that what you're telling me?
I mean, I can feel that it's gone. And, occasionally I have been known to use a wet wipe. Or a wet pair of knickers.
See, when I found myself stranded on that toilet bowl, and I do look to that empty cardboard roll, the choice I am faced with is either the roll or do I ever want to see this sock again? I made my choice and I stand by it.
And then
which is odd because I have so many socks that... No, I've never used the sock, but I have so many that clearly deserve to be in the fucking bin. I should really favour the sock.
So your girlfriend is like, Damien, can we throw these socks away? They're full of holes. And you're like, I know, they're not very useful as socks, but one day I might run out of toilet roll.
So when is that realistically going to happen? And I think over the next 2 weeks, I think one of those instances might realistically surface. I might actually have to make that decision.
I mean, I suppose
and
the good
then
thing about...
I will have a nice I'll have an arsenal of useless socks at my disposal. I will have to crab walk to get them, of course, but it is better than tearing my arsehole.
Why would you have to crab walk? You want to do the opposite, and you want to do the pigeon walk, so it's not falling out of you, leaving a trail behind you.
I mean, I'd like to think that I've pushed the body of it out.
But if you've not wiped your bum yet, then surely you're going to have, clinkers on your big hairy arsehole.
I've never noticed them to be heavy enough to actually release from my body without assistance.
Or maybe not heavy enough, maybe wet enough.
That kind of crisis dictates that I have a roll of toilet paper in each hand at any point anyway. I don't think that's a very realistic scenario.
In each hand, just like wrapped around your hands, so they're shit.
Yeah, so I just wipe with the roll once, and I have to throw the whole thing away. It's very inefficient. It's quite costly. Well, but I tell you what, you feel like a rich man.
The advantage of the sock is that you can obviously, hold it behind you and in front of you at the same time, on either side of your bollocks to use in a soaring motion.
Oh God.
Really get in there. You could stuff it. You could stuff your sock with another sock, so you get a nice big bulbous bit in the middle.
Well, that's called double ply.
Double ply. From the geniuses at Bumbro.
I just don't like them. You don't like the mention of a soaring motion. Flossing is gentle. Well, flossing is not gentle, but soaring is aggressive. I feel like I'm going to dislocate my hips.
And just like flossing, your bum gums may bleed the first few times.
Oh, they always bleed.
You got to develop a nice big bum callus.
I choose toilet paper more often than not. So these situations are few and far between. Not enough to really condition my butthole. So what you're talking about there is highly unrealistic. It's a lofty goal. I might address my wiping behaviour to perhaps achieve that, but
surely where
I
you
don't know.
work, they don't pay for nice toilet rolls. Surely it's all
No, it's all
plywood
sandpaper. Yeah, it's fucking dreadful.
I mean, what do you do then?
I just kind of like grind on the toilet seat a little bit, and then just make someone else clean it up.
Like you
make
detach
a
the
steak-
toilet seat and use the toilet seat in a sawing motion, the side of it.
Oh no, it stays fully attached. I'm not a criminal. No. I just kind of like grind on it. It's very awkward, but it's an enclosed cubicle most of the time. So my shame lives only with me. It's absolute. I can shoulder that burden.
Okay, good. Geoffrey movies, Damien.
That was my Geoffrey movie.
All right, I'll start, shall I? All right, this is just a title. I don't really have much of a story, but I think you can extrapolate. Field of Geoffreys. If you build it, you're Geoffrey. Geoffrey cultivating a field there.
Okay. It's a fine barn. England.
It's a fine
But it
barn,
is no-
Geoffrey. Let me go on to the next one. The Big Geoffrey.
Play on the Big Lebowski, no?
Yeah,
Okay.
That's
now,
give us your rug back, Geoffrey. Or whatever.
So, are we just transplanting Geoffrey into just one role or numerous? Potentially all.
Would you say Geoffrey as the Big Lebowski and Steve Buscemi's character Donnie and John Goodman's character?
The only three on screen for most of the movie.
So it's the Big Lebowski, but it's Big Mama's house. Or the Clumps, where every character is played with a lot of prosthetic makeup and acting finesse by Joseph Marcel.
Acting for. So we're rating him as an actor, are we?
rating,
His only name is Geoffrey.
rating him as an actor by calling him an actor.
You said a role with finesse, nuance,
I'm saying that's what it would require.
multiple layers, dimensions.
At least as much finesse as the Clumps too. Okay, well, let's leave that one. The sixth Geoffrey. I see Jeffreys all the time.
No, it's I see William.
I
See William all the time.
Oh, so Haley Joel Osment is Geoffrey.
Absolutely.
I was thinking that the
Just want
ghosts were all
Geoffrey in a
Geoffrey.
bed with a blanket up to his nose at all times, just pissing himself.
The tagline is
Master
he's very
William.
scared. Master William. Okay. All right, a better one for you.
I see William. I see Will people. They walk around like real people, but they don't realise they're Will
People.
people.
All right, how about this one? Geoffrey.
What the fuck is this? Rambo? What?
It's Alien, but with Geoffrey.
that I can get on board with.
And everyone
Because
reacts
there's only
the
one
same.
role. He's obviously the chest burster, no?
Yes, he's the chest person. Coming out
And
of John
just-
Hurt's chest. Master William!
And I want his face just cheaply superimposed, just like Hellboy Crooked Man, Ella the Spider.
Wait, I mean the same GIF, even.
Absolutely, yeah. We don't even need to get him on set.
Or have his permission.
Our time traveling set.
Yes, because we get everyone else on set. We get Sigourney Weaver on set.
I mean, John Hurt's corpse is going to be a bit more convincing this time round.
He dead. He well and truly dead. Yeah, and then obviously the sequel, Jeffreys,
Jeffreyans, come on, man.
Jeffreyans, where a colony of people have been overrun by Geoffreys, and there's a Queen Geoffrey that's like
when they meet the Queen Geoffrey in the hive, right? It's not. We're obviously superimposing his face on all the xenomorphs across the board, right? But there's no size differential when it comes to the Queen. So when they get to the hive, it is just Geoffrey in full butler regalia, just pumping out these eggs. Still the same time, right? It's painful. It's uncomfortable to watch, right?
So it's a normal-sized Geoffrey pumping out normal-sized Geoffreys, like the same size as him.
Well, I was thinking the face hugger eggs, right?
Yeah.
They're still pretty big.
They're still pretty big, like kind of wider than Geoffrey is. He's a small man.
Yeah, I mean, they're definitely like the size of his torso for sure, at least the height and width.
So I was thinking of the Queen Geoffrey being dressed as Queen Elizabeth II, where he's got like lace gloves up to his biceps and everything. Kind of like Jaleel White when he would pretend to be Urkel's horny cousin.
It's my Urkel sleeping bag, isn't it, cute? That's another thing that we'd obviously say ad nauseum on the couch, baked off our fucking tits, in between the random Geoffreys!
And huffing down pork pies. Geoffrey Resurrection?
We did not afford pork pies, you know that. It was the cheapest, it was bargain basement donuts.
Porkless pork pies and Batman wedding cakes.
Yes, that was a blinder of evening. That was shameful. Yeah, I mean, we could have done some real damage to some of our organs that evening, for sure.
What about the time we bought 50 chocolate oranges for like 20p each?
Yeah, but you make it sound like we ate that all in one night. They were there for like 2 weeks, you know. I've never eaten so much chocolate orange in my life, or since, I don't think. But it wasn't instant.
I don't think I've ever had a chocolate orange since.
Yeah. It was a kind of like a last resort in that flat for that time. It's like, oh, there's no bread, there's no eggs. I was like, oh, yeah. All right, I'm gonna have a couple of bits. I have some chocolate orange then.
It was like you get up.
Did you put the kettle on?
What do we have? What do we have to eat? Well, all we have is 4 wedding cakes, 4 Batman cakes, about 100 chocolate oranges, or some old rice that I got from the restaurant 4 days ago. What do you want? Oh, and
we have an ounce of weed over here as well. That's what I know what I'm doing then. We're merely like postponing the problem. You don't understand. In fact, we're actually lining ourselves up for a much bigger problem because we'll just eat all of it, and that 4-day-old sushi is not going to go down. It's not going to go quietly into that good night.
Geoffrey Afterbirth.
I don't know what that's aping, but the title alone is gold.
Nothing. It's just a unique alien film with Geoffrey. It's all told from the Queen's perspective, and it's just, you know, Geoffrey building an army of Geoffreys.
It's just grunts of pain every time he lays an egg.
Yeah, it's an art film. There's no speaking in it.
Oh yeah, we're going like full like Noé on this one. We're just like suspended from the ceiling watching him for 3 hours.
Yeah, it's told from the ghost of a Geoffrey watching.
It's just one Geoffrey in one room, lots of aggressive techno music, yeah, and lots of strobe lighting.
Yeah, and all the rape.
Afterbirth.
Come
to sit,
Geoffrey
sit
Afterbirth.
at a theatre near you.
Speaking of which, I've got After Geoffrey.
After Geoffrey.
Yeah.
Okay.
Will Smith, in the near future, has to guide his much younger son, Geoffrey, on a, sort of bullshit adventure.
Okay. I mean, I'll take that over.
Scientology adjacent.
So, okay. That could work. I mean, anytime you kind of replace Jaden Smith, I'm sure it's going to be a net gain for a movie. What about I, Geoffrey?
I, Geoffrey. Okay, and Geoffrey is all of the robots.
All of the robots.
And Will Smith is pissed off because the Geoffreys are taking people's jobs. And at one point, he's driving a Geoffrey, and then he upsets his lady friend by saying...
He's driving a Geoffrey. So Geoffrey is now the car?
Geoffrey is also the car. And Will Smith says, I want to
So
drive
is he
this
like
Geoffrey
riding
manually.
him like saddleback, like a horse? Or is it like Pixar cars? You know, it's just... Geoffrey's head with a couple of wheels on the side. And we can see Will Smith through his eyes.
Like the entire car is Geoffrey's head. No, I thought it would be more like Geoffrey laying down with his head crooned back. Almost like he's a sled with, wheels coming out of him.
I mean, I didn't know this technology existed. I mean, there's obviously a Cool Runnings one then. Cool Geoffrey Runnings.
Where
Be the bobsled in that.
a plucky team of Jamaican bobslayers ride a Geoffrey to glory.
I like that.
The Day After Geoffrey. I imagine this is an Andy Warhol directed movie where Will Smith freezes to death over 2 hours in one uncut shot. And it's ironic because Geoffrey isn't in it.
Very good. I mean, I'm thinking outside of the concept here, but I just like the idea of Will Smith freezing to death in real time.
Yeah, that gets the bums on seats, and then over the course of the 2 hours, they get the message too. It's a double whammy. It's a people pleaser with a heart and a
makes
message.
you think.
It does. This is what happens to Will Smith after Geoffrey.
With
Oh my
global-
God, that's the title. I got another one which isn't very good because it doesn't have Geoffrey in the title. The Three Clean Men.
The Three Clean Men?
Yeah.
What the fuck is that?
Geoffrey, Mr. Belvedere, and Mr. Monk all fanning around and solve crimes together whilst dusting and stuff. No? Alright.
I mean, it's Butler adjacent, so it does make sense.
What the Geoffrey saw. It's the entire run of The Fresh Prince, but told from Geoffrey's perspective, and it's rated R, and it's not funny at all. Like, the Bankses are horrible, horrible people. Class traitors, in fact.
God. So the Banks family, class traitors, not beloved. Are they pursued?
Oh, you mean like at the end it ends in like the French Revolution?
Yeah, that's what I'm asking.
No, I think it'd be way more impactful if Master William is the worst of them and is incredibly both manipulative and destructive. He's the one that really brings them over the edge and turns them into fully corrupt people. And then it ends with him leaving them to go off and become a Hollywood film star.
I feel like you're pulling from something here. I just don't know what it is.
When we all know Carlos Riviera was the real talent.
I thought Giovanni Ribisi, no?
Giovanni Ribisi? Alphonse Riviera.
Oh, there we go.
Yeah, that's
Okay.
right, because I can't say his name without thinking about Hawaiian Baby Woodrow Seas.
Sorry, why is that?
Because we used to drink Alphonse when we would chew them up.
Oh, that's right. Yeah. The mango shit. I really like, but you can never go near again, ever again.
I liked it once.
Yeah, those things tasted fucking foul.
Do you remember when we read that blog on like Aerowind and it said never take more than 20 of this particular type? And I was like, well, I'll take 25 then.
Yeah. I did not join you in that. I think I got up there and had like the night I thought I was dying.
There were several of them. It was great. Oh yes, okay, so I think my top one is Geoffrey Nater. Geoffrey is sent back in time to stop Will Smith. Right?
Okay. Yeah, I'm following.
Yeah, and Uncle Phil is Arnie, so we can have a whole thing of like Will Smith on the back of a big Harley Davidson holding holding Uncle Phil as he drives down the California aqueduct.
Mm-hmm.
And I also thought that, do you remember the bit in Terminator 2 where John Connor is in the mall and the Terminator cop comes up to his friend,
Right.
and says, "Have you seen this guy? Do you remember that?"
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And the kid says, "No, I've never seen him." In this telling, it's Carlton, and Carlton goes, "Yeah, he's over there."
Sorry, I'm a little unclear. So we have Uncle Phil is the Terminator. So
He's Arnie.
Who is
the Arnie Terminator?
Yeah, the Arnie Terminator. So Geoffrey is the shape-shifting
Liquid
Mall
Terminator.
cop.
Yeah.
Yeah, Liquid Terminator. Paul Blart, Mall Geoffrey.
I haven't seen
don't
Paul
know.
Blart.
No, why would you? I haven't either. I was going to say, like, the Geoffrey. What do you think I'm thinking of now? We superimpose Geoffrey's face on Johnny Knoxville. I would love to see a movie where, Geoffrey busts out, "What a cock block."
What a cock block.
What a cock block. Mm.
But you didn't hear the end of Geoffreynator. It ends with Geoffrey making an appeal to Uncle Phil, and then they both clasp hands and shake arms, manly, muscly arms, as Will Smith spins down into a vat of liquid molten magma.
I mean, you're gonna sell me every time if Will Smith is slowly dying at the end of any movie.
And the last one I've got, which doesn't involve Will Smith, is Geoffrey World.
Is this Westworld?
No.
Ah, well, what have we got then?
A future world that has been flooded by Geoffreys. And it's Waterworld, but instead of water, it's just Geoffreys.
Oh, God!
And every time
undulating mass
Yes.
of a million Geoffreys.
and every time someone pours themselves a glass of water, it's just smaller Geoffreys.
Oh, God. I like that. I like... Well, we see, there seems to be a running theme of Liquid Geoffrey. We could definitely do something with that.
Yeah, and it could be the first ever film that's got over 1 billion
I like the idea of
on-screen
Kevin
animated
Costner.
Geoffreys. No, Kevin Costner is Uncle Phil and Dennis Hopper is Carlton.
Because I like the idea of Kevin Costner distilling his own piss to make Geoffrey.
Yeah, but he pisses Geoffreys. And that works well.
That's what I want to see.
You really get, the absurdity of his character really comes through in that moment.
And again, we can link this back to the Geoffreyans thing. So when Kevin Costner is taking a piss, it is excruciating, right? So yes, there is a stream, and it is Geoffrey, but it's still large. It's not full size, but it is birthing.
It's still a tiny but nevertheless fully grown Geoffrey in a suit and everything.
All right. Kevin Costner's looking at his dick. He's like, I've started to crown now. I think I can go to the toilet.
Crowning out his dick, yeah. Yeah, and if you don't go to the toilet long enough, all the Geoffreys inside your bladder start fighting each other.
Well, if that's the case, does that, with the human body being 70% water, does that mean Kevin Costner is 70% Geoffrey?
We all are, Damien. That's the message.
It's another one that makes you think.
And if we don't get our act together, the Geoffrey caps will melt.
So it's day after Geoffrey. Like seeing these fucking slowly shifting glaciers that are
just pure Geoffrey.
Just pure Geoffrey.
Yeah, and then you can zoom in on young Jake Gyllenhaal's face, and where he's got like a bit of frost in his beard. If you look closely, it's actually tiny Geoffreys.
Yeah, you get like a nice little digital snap zoom or something like that.
Yeah, they're like fractals. Like they themselves are made up of even smaller Geoffreys.
So now it's becoming. You remember that guy Syriac?
Yeah,
the animator. Yeah, it's becoming like one of his videos now, where Geoffreys grow out of Geoffreys.
I'm not saying they grow out of Geoffreys, but they're made up of Geoffreys. Everything
buds a Geoffrey.
Yeah, what is an atom if not just a Geoffrey? With a Geoffrino going around it and a Geoffron.
Geoffron.
And that's it. That's all I got.
Oh, this is where we say goodnight, right?
Good night. Jeffreys can fly, or turtles can Geoffrey?
What about one Geoffrey over the Jeffrey's nest?
where Geoffrey plays both Nurse Geoffrey and Jack Geoffrey.
Absolutely. I'd like to be able to tell you anything about that movie, but the truth is I've never seen it. Have I ever told you about this?
You just told me, yeah. You've never seen it. You should
No, I've
watch
never
it.
seen one. The one and only time I tried to watch it, I was probably maybe like 13, something like that. My dad had put it on. With me and my sister. And he's like, yeah, this is a good movie. Sit down, watch it. You'll like it. Puts it on. Credits start to roll at the beginning. He leaves the room and this, that, and the other. But me and my sister, we'd been fucking around. Probably on a sugar rush. We were just manic, right? And we just we started playing a game with silly voices, and so we would like read out the names as they came on the screen and what have you. But it progressed to such a point when my dad had returned to the room. He sees me and my sister, not knowing what any of the movie is about. Right? We're just there going, Jake Nicholson! And he's like, well, we can't watch this now. Turns it off. And I've never gone back to it since.
Okay.
I know I'm
mature
missing
guy
out.
on that.
I might be capable of a rewatch at this point. Or my initial watch, what am I saying?
Back to the Geoffrey.
Okay.
Geoffrey invents a time machine.
Oh, and I'm thinking it's more like Osmosis Jones at this point. You know.
Okay. Osmosis Geoffrey.
He's got to return. Yeah, but we call it Back to Geoffrey because it makes more sense in terms of the title logic. Come on, man.
Right, yeah. And then we
something
can get
has been
crossover, superliminal, cross-dimensional, dynamic.
What was cross-dimensional?
More of a god.
Oh, that was it, yeah.
I don't see myself as a guru. More of a god. Dragging these people up.
Dragging these people up, yeah. That's a shame that doesn't exist anywhere anymore. I'd like to hear that.
It exists in my brain. It's a curse, not a boon. So, Osmosis Geoffrey,
No, it's Geoffrey Jones. Come on, man.
Geoffrey Jones. So instead of fucking Bill Murray getting ill, it's Geoffrey.
Yes,
Geoffrey's the
absolutely.
host.
Oh, God.
Oh, that reminds me, the perfect Geoffrey. Geoffrey has a dinner party.
That's not bad, actually. That movie was such a letdown. Oh, dear. But if we're going to, bring it back from the dead, I think that's the way to do it. Something even more absurd than Niles.
Oh my god, and David Hyde Pierce was in Hellboy 1. It's come full circle, people.
Oh my god. I mean, they're probably, they probably chat on a regular basis. They can make this happen.
I would think that they've got an open Discord that they're on right now in between, windows of World of Warcraft. Money. Yeah. The Apprentice with Geoffrey. Might be grasping at straws now.
Well, I think that's just going to be it, isn't it? It's just going to be a movie with Geoffrey.
Yeah, Cars, but every car is a Geoffrey.
Cars with Geoffrey.
Cars with Geoffrey.
Up with Geoffrey.
Where Geoffrey plays the house. And that's the Osmosis Jones angle.
God.
The old man and the young scout are actually occupying
we've
huge inflatable Geoffrey.
We've turned Geoffrey into a number of different non-human items at this point. We haven't discussed, is he alive? Is he sentient? Does he have speaking roles? Or is it, if we turn him into a house or a car, is it just a facade?
I mean, I do like the idea. Originally, I thought that with the idea of Waterworld, where the world has been flooded by Geoffreys, I just thought of them as sort of, just like bobbing around quietly. But I like the idea that they're all Geoffrey, and they've all just come into the world, so they're all saying, like, what's going on? Master William, what's all this? Why are all these other Geoffreys here? And it's just, like, an incessant thing.
They're all doing it simultaneous.
Yeah, you can barely hear anything.
It's an
But
infinite loop, yeah.
yeah, no one in the film can hear it. It's only the audience that can hear it, and they can't hear anything but it.
So it sounds like the chorale, the Ligeti in 2001. So when like the apes are discovering the monolith, we just have this symphony of Geoffrey's going, Master William!
And the monolith is a massive Geoffrey with his hands on his hips, standing proud.
It's 2000 and Geoffrey.
Yeah.
Space Geoffrey.
Space Geoffrey, yeah. Or a Geoffrey Odyssey.
Full Metal Geoffrey.
Napoleon, but we go...
This is my Geoffrey. There are many others like it, but this one is mine.
Napoleon, but every soldier in it is actually just Geoffrey. It's only Joaquin Phoenix and Geoffrey in that entire movie.
Night of the Generals. Nobody Geoffreys with me.
Night of the Geoffreys.
Night of the Living Geoffreys is an easy one as well.
Yeah, zombie movie, but they're all Geoffreys, and they all just want, to take your lunch order.
Oh, you know what would be good? American Werewolf in London, right? But when they do that gruesome transformation sequence, he very slowly and agonizingly turns into Geoffrey.
And then when he's finished, all the gore is gone. He's just immaculate in his butler suit.
I mean, the Thing would be good for that as well. Everyone, they'd like chest cavities like rip open and out sprouts a little Geoffrey.
Or
I'd love to see that little head that gets away after like the Norris thing. They torch with a flamethrower, and that's Geoffrey.
yeah, and you do a whole meta thing where everyone who's become the Thing appears on screen as Geoffrey, but no one else notices. like there's like 4 people who are Geoffrey because they're the Thing, but everyone just thinks that they're still the same person. Like, oh yeah, I'm a bit worried about this thing. Yes, me too. Not suspicious.
Master William.
You say that almost like you're a Geoffrey. Take my blood.
I don't know.
I've just got to go to the lavatory now. Goodbye. I love it. Geoffrey's story. All the Geoffreys have to be inanimate when there's a human around.
I think maybe we've got Jeff Goldblum, and he's testing out a teleporter.
And a Geoffrey sneaks in.
And then for a couple of weeks, Jeff Goldblum is like suddenly reinvigorated with this superhuman strength, but slowly but surely his skin peels away.
And the Geoffrey
he slowly
emerges.
transmorphigates into Geoffrey.
Or do it like the original Fly, where
Geoffrey 5 is alive.
Oh God! And he's wearing Geoffrey's skin. Well, I was going to say in the original Fly, you could have it like the end where it's Geoffrey's tiny body with Jeff Goldblum's head going, "Help me!" because he's trapped in a web.
Yeah, that's good.
So yeah, Geoffrey 5 is alive. I would like to take these books out, please, craphead. Hornswoggle.
Are you saying that I have been, in fact, flim-flammed? So, I mean, we talked of you mentioned just the robot with donning Geoffrey's skin. It could be the other way around, right? And it's Geoffrey, and he looks like something out of Mad Max wearing Johnny Five. I prefer the latter.
But not like a punk post-apocalyptic fashion thing. Like, he is trying to pass himself off as a robot. Like, people are like, "Could you help me with the bags, Geoffrey?" And he's like, "I will engage my vertical..."
We make it insufferable. He reads the script as verbatim, but just after every line he has to say, "I am a robot." I would like this book, craphead. I am a robot. Hornswoggled? I am a robot. Master William.
Load that truck faster, Geoffrey.
Los Lobos kick your ass into outer space. I am a robot.
Flubber.
You know,
instead of Flubber, it's Geoffrey. Bouncing around,
Okay.
sassing about.
Bicentennial Man and Robin Williams, his life's pursuit
To become
is to
Geoffrey.
become Geoffrey.
Slowly but surely
Piece
he changes
by
parts. Yes.
Very problematic in the beginning.
No, none at the end though. No, it's great. Critics call it the most deft blackface we've ever seen.
It's a heartwarming story.
Collider.
Wild Wild West. Geoffrey is the spider.
Geoffrey is the spider.
Again.
It's just the villain from that, like riding the spider. Like it's a much smaller spider, so it's just riding the spider with like reins around Geoffrey's mouth, like a horse.
God.
But
Yeah,
Yeah.
I see it. Django, but Geoffrey's in place of Samuel Jackson.
yeah, like it. Pulp Geoffrey.
Pulp Geoffrey is good.
Say Geoffrey again.
Who else could he be in that? There are,
What?
I
In
mean,
Pulp Fiction.
Yeah, you can swap him out for anything.
He could be Esmeralda. Oh, you.
Okay.
Oh, you killed a man, did you, Butch?
I like the idea of him being the rapist in the gun shop.
Wake the Geoffrey.
And then Bruce Willis busts in, and he's just there, like, sodomizing Uncle Phil.
And Uncle Phil's going, Vivian, I am not a machine! Yeah, and Jazzy Jeff could be the sleazy bearded dude who's watching.
Oh, nice. Yeah. He's there with his sunglasses.
Yeah,
Reclining.
licking his lips.
Yeah.
And then
Maybe
Geoffrey
just,
comes in and cuts him down with a big Geoffrey.
So multiple Geoffreys. Okay. It's getting confusing.
The sixth Geoffrey, where Arnold Geoffrey accidentally Jeffreys his Geoffrey.
I was going to go for Total Geoffrey. And Schwarzenegger is trying to infiltrate the Mars colony in a Geoffrey suit.
No one will suspect him if he's in a Geoffrey suit. Because Arnold Schwarzenegger's like 6'6" and Geoffrey must be like 5'5", so I'd love to see that.
Arnold
skin suit.
Schwarzenegger goes to the recall center, right? And he's just, I want to be implanted with the memories that I am Geoffrey.
Men in Geoffrey, then, so you could have the Farmer John guy. That's just
Okay.
a Geoffrey suit pulled over him.
I was going to go for the talking pug. Is definitely Geoffrey material.
Like
But,
someone's holding
like
him
the
like a
idea
pug,
of-
but he's full sized.
I like the idea of a Geoffrey suit. It's good. No, we're gonna do it as shitty as we did Johnny Five. He reads the lines verbatim. He just says at the end of them, "I am a dog." Everyone on the screen is acting like he's a dog. So
Yes.
they're trying to make eye contact with a dog. So they're always looking at his shoes. So they're weirdly like submissive around Geoffrey.
Which adds to the mystique of Geoffrey. What about twins? But instead of Danny DeVito and Arnold Schwarzenegger, it's just Geoffrey.
Yeah.
And everyone's like, no way are you twins.
Indeed, we are.
And yes,
Master
quite. Master William. And everyone, yeah, and like Geoffrey says to Geoffrey, like, can you lift this car up for me, Geoffrey? I'm too small. Sure thing, Geoffrey. They get on really well.
Oh, it's heartwarming.
Yeah.
What's the Schwarzenegger movie? Oh, Junior, but with
Junior.
Geoffrey.
Where Geoffrey accidentally gets Geoffrey pregnant.
I think it was quite on purpose, actually. But it's also much like Geoffreyan as well, because Geoffrey is going to burst out of Geoffrey.
He's going
That's
to burst out,
propagating the Geoffrey scourge.
because I thought it was implied in Junior that Arnold Schwarzenegger crapped that baby out.
He had a pussy. For sure he had a pussy.
Well, he must have had a uterus, right? A womb.
I don't know. Didn't they have some pseudoscience thing about attaching the fetus to the intestine or something for it to feed. I don't know.
Science.
Science. I believe that was a thing, right? They haven't they tried that for a man to try and bring a baby to term
What, in real life or in the film
in
Junior?
real life? Yeah.
Why would they do that?
I don't know. Just to say they can.
Right.
You have the internet. Good God, man.
Like they
Parent Trap. The Geoffrey Trap.
The Geoffrey Trap, where Geoffrey and they're two different types of Geoffreys. One's like a sassy outdoors type. The other's is more into reading books.
What about Freaky Geoffrey, where Geoffrey body swaps with another Geoffrey, and chaos ensues because they just don't know how to Geoffrey after they Geoffreyed.
But you're forgetting that Geoffrey is the father or mother of Geoffrey. That's what makes it awkward. No, oh, Geoffrey, I never quite appreciated Geoffrey. How Geoffrey.
I will say I will Jeff to your Geoffrey.
I think we should send this
Geoffrey
Geoffrey
as
to the
well.
Guinness Book of Geoffreys to see if we've said Geoffreys more than any Geoffrey.
Welcome to Sans Geoffrey, where we're definitely not Sans Geoffrey.
I'm wearing a couple of Geoffreys right now, just in case.
I'm brewing up a little Geoffrey of my own.
It's Geoffreyed for the ladies, Geoffrey.
For those moments when you have a little Geoffrey, think Geoffrey. You're Geoffrey's Geoffrey.
Sometimes, when you're sitting on the Geoffrey, everyone Geoffreys a little. It's quite normal. But can you see the Geoffrey through your Geoffrey?
It's 8 a.m. and Geoffrey strikes.
Where will you be when Geoffrey strikes? Oh dear. Geoffrey dysfunction?
He hasn't had his Geoffrey.
Geoffrey.
Why didn't
you're
they
not
just
you
call
without
it
your Geoffrey.
Geoffrey Bix?
I guess, are we done? I feel like my brain has melted.
Yes, and I think we've taken a few innocents along the way. And I do mean few.
Yes.
All 8 of you.
Yeah. Who have listened
You
to the end
bless us.
because they left the room at some point to, oh my god, is this shit still on?
Then came back to an absolute nightmare.
And they're like, I don't normally do this, but I'm going to quickly write to YouTube to ask if they could take my view away.
I just feel like for the collective consciousness, it's better if I try to get this eradicated.
For the good of the Geoffreys. For all of Geoffrey kind.
One small step for Geoffrey. A massive leap for Geoffrey.
Good luck, Mr. Geoffrey.
Happy birthday, Mr. Geoffrey.
Ooh, Geoffrey. Alright, well, I guess we'll say goodbye then, right, Geoffrey?
We will say good Geoffrey to you all.
Alright, and we'll be doing one, not in 10 months. Closer than that. Right, Damien?
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah. 3 months max.
I will pencil that in.
Okay. I know you'll have a little
Tentatively.
Geoffrey to deal with.
Oh, yes. Yeah, yes. Furry little Geoffrey. The Geoffreys everywhere.
Just to assuage anyone's fears, Damien is not having a baby. He's getting a dog called Muck.
It's going to be called Geoffrey after this.
Go, Geoffrey.
That or Master William, so I can beckon him like that. I can be my own Geoffrey. Dream big, dream Geoffrey.
Every woman should be their own Geoffrey. I'm every Geoffrey. You're every Geoffrey to me.
Say no to Geoffrey.
Geoffrey Knight. Geoffrey Knight. Whether you're a Geoffrey or whether you're a Geoffrey, Geoffrey Knight.
Geoffrey.
Geoffrey Knight.
Geoffrey. Shake, shake, shake. Shake, shake, shake.
Shake
your
your
Geoffrey.
Geoffreys. Bye-bye.
Once upon a Geoffrey. Good night.
Good night. Keep Geoffreying, 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 Geoffreying. Keep Geoffreying, 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 Geoffreying.